Hey guys, we're going to learn a little bit about sighting today using a tool. And I have a pencil. That's going to be my tool of choice for showing you how to sight and find proportions of different objects in your combination or your composition. You can use a pencil, you can use a paintbrush stick, you can use a chopstick, anything with a straight edge. I don't think I would use a ruler because the numbers might throw me off. What I want to do is use a straight edge, a straight thing, so that I can adjust my finger up and down the straight thing to find what my unit of measurement is and compare them to each thing in the group. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is make sure you keep your feet where in the same spot or sit in the same spot where you are every time you reach out with a long arm and a locked elbow. Lock your elbow. Can't see it, right? Okay, let me show you. Lock your elbow. Always keep it locked. So as you reach out with your tool, you want to put the top of your tool at the top of whatever object you want to start off with, just so you can compare the height to the width. So I am finding the height. Matter of fact, the next thing that you want to do that I kind of left out is you want to close one eye to avoid optical disparity. You don't want to have two visions looking at the one object. You want to have one eyeball on your pencil as you are looking at the height and the width of it. So close one of your eyes, lock your elbow, okay, and then put the top of your tool, my pencil tip is at the top of the middle. I'm going to go ahead and measure this. All right, so put the top of the tool at the top of your object and bring your finger is your slide rule. So bring it down to the bottom, okay? That is my unit of measurement for the middle bottle. That is the height. I'm going to keep my finger in that same spot. Don't move it. Turn your finger sideways and just record in your mind what you see. You see that this is a whole measure, the height. If you turn it sideways, you're going to see that it's probably a quarter, okay, a quarter of its height. So now what I'm going to do is draw an arbitrary line on my sheet, okay? And then I'm going to use that as my unit of measure. Oops. Draw the arbitrary line and use that as my unit of measure. So now I'm going to put the pencil on the sheet, and then I'm going to turn it sideways to find a quarter of the width of that initial line. So put a little dash right there. So now I have my entire height as compared to its width, which was a quarter. And then I can go ahead and finish off the simple shape that tells us that this is some kind of, I don't know, beginning of a bottle or something. Okay, so now this is from the white top to the base of the bottle, okay? That is the first unit of measurement we discovered with our feet in the same spot or your chair in the same spot and your arm locked, your elbow locked, and one eye closed. You find your height. Turn the pencil sideways and you find your width as compared to its height. You have to record that in your head before you get over here on your sheet to do the same function. Height, an arbitrary line for height, and then you compare the arbitrary height line to a width and find that half width that I found over here. I mean a quarter width that I found over here, quarter. So now the next thing that you want to do is, now we have already gone through vertical placement, understanding vertical placement, how you look at that and how you adjust that. So now I'm seeing that this thing is up higher on the vertical placement than, say, this thing. Now I'm going to look at where my bottom is for this structure, the center structure, and then I'm going to compare and make an assessment as to how far I need the other line to go for the bottom of the other jar, okay? So it's about right there. And you can take measurements from one thing to the other. You can do that and find your unit of measurement for the distance. But I think that you want to use your eyes more than using the tool. The tool is going to help you find proportions of height and width. And also this helps you, sighting helps you to see your clock positions as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sketch. I'm going to go ahead and sketch, and I see that this bottle is overlapping the other bottle. And I started off with the vertical placement of the second one, and it's overlapping just a little bit. Then I'm going to be looking at where things are placed with each other up top. Okay, so now I'm going to go across here because that's how high it looks with the naked eye. It looks about that height. So now what I'm going to do is find my unit of measurement for my first thing. I'm just going to test it and see if I'm accurate. Find the unit of measurement for my first thing, and then I'm going to place it over here and find the unit of measurement for my second thing, and it's about the same. So if I put the pencil on the sheet, find the unit of measurement for the first thing and the unit of measurement for the second thing, and I'm right on. I am right on. Okay, now what I want to do is find the width measurement here. So go to your second thing, find your height measurement, flip it to the side, and find your width measurement, and it's about the same as this. So those two items are basically the same height and width. So here's my unit of measurement for the paper version of it. On the paper, turn it sideways and find a quarter width. And if you know your fractions a little bit, you're going to know that that's about a quarter. So I'm going to put a mark right here, and now I have the proper proportion of the second shape. Also, I have my vertical placement working. I see the placement at the top for both the tops, kind of zigzagged a little bit, and then my vertical placement. This is really important, knowing and seeing your vertical placement. That's why observation is key. Observation is key. So now let's go ahead and move to the cup. So let's look at the vertical placement first. I'm looking at the vertical placement of these two things, and they're pretty much on the same line. And this is also using a perceptual grid to see things as they compare to something else in the drawing. So here is the bottom of the cup, because it is on the same vertical place line as the second bottle. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Just put a line in there, okay? And then I'm also going to look at where this is in comparison to this and this, where this might be. So it looks as though it's right about here, which makes it be right about there, maybe just a little bit lower. All right, so this is my grid line for the top of the cup. So now what I'm going to do is look at its height, find its height right here, and then you want to look at its width, and maybe take the highest point. Let me go with the whole thing right here. That's the unit of measurement. And then I'm going to go to the widest point of the cup, and it is about a little bit more than 3/4. So here's this. Okay, and then turn it sideways and find your 3/4 mark right about there. And does it overlap? Yes, it does, just a little bit. And then we have angles. Now, be sensitive to straight lines and angled lines. When you're looking at anything with straight lines in it, let those straight lines help you see the angled lines. And so now you put your ellipse. This is another simple shape. We're going to do simple shapes in just a minute. So I am creating the ellipse, the rounded portions of my cup. I'm going to create the ellipse down here. And what an ellipse is a foreshortened circle. That's what it is. So you want to be able to create those foreshortened circles wherever you need it. This right here is kind of like a dome top. So I'm going to put the dome top up here at the top. And then it has a little top on there, and I can see the top of the top, so there's another open ellipse. And then over here I'm going to put another open ellipse, and then another top. This could be really, really fun. I mean, there's revelations all over the place whenever you draw like this from observation, and you use little little ideas, little tips like this to help you get more accuracy. you're going to have more fun in your drawing experience. So here's my 3 items. We have covered a little bit of vertical placement where things are, and then we have covered sighting to compare height to width, and then we've put in some foreshortened circles, which are also called ellipses. So we covered sighting, proportion, vertical placement, and ellipses. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, y'all got it. Y'all got the ellipse part. So hopefully this was helpful for you. The next time we approach this and we have to use this idea, hopefully it'll be easier for you. So just practice. Use 3 different items. It doesn't have to be 2 bottles in a cup. It can be an egg, a paper cup, a pencil. It can be anything that you want it to be, so that you can practice this whole idea with sighting for proportions and vertical placement and ellipses. I'll see you next time.